I'm Casey Laughlin, owner of Texas Outdoor Oasis. I'm here with our pool designers today. We've got Kurt, Michael, and Josh. We're going to talk a little bit about our company and as far as the process and designing pools and just what to expect when you hire Texas Outdoor Oasis. We specialize in pools, outdoor living, and landscape. When a homeowner's trying to pick a builder out in the market, obviously there's production builders, there's low budget builders, there's high-end builders. Where do we fit in that market, and why do you think we excel in that area?
We're a niche customer base. We're kind of upper middle. We're not a bulk builder, so.
We're seeing most of our projects, as of current 2023 market, we're seeing a range anywhere from 100 to 500,000. It's kind of our niche market for clients. What is a customer, when they call our office, you know, the phone call is going to start with Gloria or Amanda in the front. They're going to assign a lead out, right? It's going to go into our CRM and it's going to be assigned to one of our designers.
So once we get the lead, we try to get to you same day, make contact, talk to you about budgets, kind of style, get a good idea of what it is you're looking for. It is good to talk budgets over the phone. That way, you know, we can kind of be on the same page when it comes to the designing process. You know, when we get to designing, we're trying to take your ideas with a little bit of our ideas and make it work, make it, you know, it doesn't always go as planned. If you have a flat yard, but you want something that's going to be built 5 feet out of the ground, it doesn't work. So, you know, we got to take our knowledge and put it towards a design, which we produce to you in a 3D CAD program.
The software can basically show you exactly how the pool is going to look when it's done. That way you're not surprised by how it's going to look. It is a cartoon, but it gets still pretty close. So that way if you want to see the difference between grays and whites versus beiges and tans, we can show you that with a pretty close rendering of your house with the brick and the windows in place and things like that. It really goes next level too with the landscaping. With our professional landscaper, he'll tell us the name of the particular plant and where to put it in the rendering, so that way we don't just show you these crazy tropical plants that won't even work in our kind of climate. It's a realistic expectation and not just some dream that, you know, hey, this might work or might not work.
A lot of things go into it. There's accessibility into the property. You know, it's are you dealing with flat ground? Are you dealing with cutting into a slope? Are you dealing with a slope that runs away from the house? So it's not a one size fits all. So sometimes you know, we like to say, hey, we can do whatever. You know, we can bring your dream to reality, but reality is we have to work with the palette that we're starting with. So
and that's what makes every pool unique is basically their yard. You're building something off of their property to make it work.
After the initial phone call, kind of how's the rest of the process work?
So after we get the initial design, we have you come in, we go over it again on a 3D CAD program. We're priced out for you. We'll work, we'll show you materials such as tiles, stone, veneer decking, you know, and we'll make those adjustments, you know, on the spot. So when you're here, we'll have the initial design, but if you see something you like more than what we have in our program, then we'll make those changes and adjust the cost accordingly.
We've been through what the initial phone call looks like, the design process. They come in, say that customer decides to buy from us. Can you walk us through kind of the next phase?
We'll get your plans together for HOA and for city permits, need be. Once we get those back, typically it's a 2 to 4 week process to get those back, get you on the construction schedule. Basically, we set up a pre-construction meeting. That's where you meet your project manager. He's the one that's going to do all the timelines as far as excavation. We're in a group text, so we're all in the same loop. Typical builds, 3 months on a pool spa. If you're doing outdoor living, structures, landscaping, you can go anywhere 4 to 5 months, all weather depending.
Yeah, that's a great point. I hear in the marketplace sometime, you know, people bragging about knocking out a pool in 25 days, 30 days. We've set in enough education now to know that there's different cure times for different materials, and it's not feasible to build a pool in 28 days or 28 days is kind of the key timeline for gunite curing, that kind of deal. But there's some other timelines that we work with, such as tile and coping. You know, a lot of people will gunite a pool, and then immediately the next day you see tile and coping crews on site. You know, through our education, we've learned that's not the proper process. There should be a 2-week waiting period, a water curing period for gunite before tile and coping is even installed. We do things such as all 1/2-inch steel. You know, we're tying them tighter on the floors than most pool builders do. We're adding a lot to the structure, to the bones of the pool. The fact that we're given itemized estimates. And when we say itemized, we mean down to, you know, where every penny's going that you're spending on your project. We run off an Excel spreadsheet, everything is very detailed. I have seen some other estimates that, you know, customers will hand us sometimes, and maybe it's just a big figure, and really you don't know as the consumer, where's your money going? You know, how did they come up with that price? We're going to present you with a 4 to 5 page estimate, really is what it is, that's going to have it broken down by line item, and you're going to see by category where every dime is going.
If anything's needed, let's say you have a construction question and you go through that group text. If the project manager, you know, is busy and can't get a hold of you, us as a designer still being part of the, you know, the processes, we can get you an answer. It keeps everybody in the loop, and it just makes it run a lot smoother.
Something we've recently implemented is job site cameras. We do have the ability to put a live job site camera on your project. It's going to be recording anytime there's motion going on. So if there's you know, something happens in the backyard and you question who did this or how this happened, you know, we'll have documentation of that. And we can actually grant access to homeowners to be able to have that. So at the end of the project, we're going to have a post-con meeting, right?
So at the post-con meetings, we come it's prior to plaster, which is typically the last thing we do on the project. We show up. It's basically a satisfactory punch list, essentially. We're asking the homeowner, you know, A, are they satisfied? B, is there anything that needs to be corrected? You know, and just walk the whole project with them. We try to walk you through the whole thing. You know, after we do that meeting, we have the plaster, which is pretty much to completion. Fill it up with water, and then we get you started through pool school and everything.
Basically, we have a pre-plaster walkthrough that we're going to walk through with that homeowner, make sure they're 100% satisfied with anything. 2 choices from there: we can either plaster the pool with an IOU list on some minor detail punch-out items, whatnot that need to be fixed, or because that plaster is typically the last phase of a pool, that homeowner has the option to say, hey, no, I want everything finished prior to plaster, because the last payment is going to be due prior to plaster typically. Once the construction is 100% complete, we are still going to have a post-construction meeting. Kurt, you actually went on one today with that.
Yeah.
Super excited. Everybody was super excited.
Yeah,
that was an awesome job that you guys turned out. Anyways, check us out in Oasis. Check us out.